63 years of Chinese occupation. Illegally sold by Ayub Khan. This is why China loves Pakistan. New CPEC road draws India's concerns when Pakistan sold a part of Kashmir to appease China.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Explained. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Weeks after reasserting its claims on Arunachal Pradesh and months after a deal to end a protracted military standoff in eastern Ladakh, China yet again is brewing another fresh border tussle with India. This time, Iran's target is Shaksgam Valley in Jammu and Kashmir. Listen in to what Randeep Jaiswal said on the 9th of January 2026.
Shaksgam Valley is Indian territory. We have never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement that happened in 1963. We have consistently maintained that the agreement is illegal and invalid. We do not recognize the so-called China-Pakistan economic corridor either, which passes through Indian territory that is under forcible and illegal occupation of Pakistan. The entire union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India. This has been clearly conveyed to Pakistani and the Chinese authorities several times. We have consistently protested with the Chinese side against attempts to alter the ground reality in Shaksgam Valley. We further reserve the right to take necessary measures to safeguard our interests.
After this comment by Indian External Affairs Ministry, China's foreign spokesperson was asked about China's response to this. Listen in to what they said.
首先，你提到的领土属于中国领土，中方在自己的领土上开展基础设施建设无可非议。中国和巴基斯坦已于上个世纪的60年代签署了边界协定，并且划定了两国的边界，这是中巴作为主权国家的权利。那么你提到中巴经济走廊，这是一个经济合作倡议，旨在促进当地的经济社会发展和改善民生。中巴边界协定和中巴经济走廊不影响中方在克什米尔问题上的立场，中方在这个问题上的立场没有。
But India maintained its stance quite clearly. Listen in to what Chief of Army Staff had to say on this.
It's about the Northern Front and about the Shaksgam Valley. So as the Shaksgam Valley is concerned, India considers 1963 agreement between Pakistan and China as illegal. Therefore, any activity in Shaksgam Valley is concerned, we do not approve of it, and in this terms, MEA has already issued the statement. Therefore, the joint statement which has been issued in China, what I understand about the CPEC 2.0, we do not accept it, and we consider that it is an illegal action which is being carried out.
This sharp exchange between India and China over the Shaksgam Valley has brought into renewed focus the strategically vital 5,000 square kilometer tract that New Delhi maintains was illegally ceded by Pakistan to China in 1963. Before exploring how the events unfolded in 1963, first understand the location and geographic importance of the tract. Shaksgam Valley, also known as the Trans-Karakoram Tract, is located in the Hunza-Gilgit region of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Situated close to the Siachen Glacier in the eastern Karakoram range, it borders China's Xinjiang region in the north and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in the south and west. Shaksgam Valley is currently administered by China as part of Xinjiang. Now, its strategic importance for India, the Shaksgam Valley is significant on two counts, territorial and military. The valley sits close to the Siachen Glacier, the world's highest battlefield. Besides, it also provides direct access to the Karakoram Pass from Siachen. India keeps a direct eye on Pakistan, and from the Karakoram Pass, India can monitor Chinese maneuvers, thus control or influence in the Shaksgam Valley has direct implications for India's military posture along the LAC with China and the LOC with Pakistan. The new axis of access enables China to apply pressure from the north, raising the prospect of a two-front contingency on the world's highest battlefield. This explains India's concerns about China and Pakistan sandwiching its positions. Let's dissect how Pakistan ceded this territory to China in 1963. Well, Shaksgam Valley, part of the Hunza-Gilgit region, has been under the control of China since 1963 after a boundary agreement with Pakistan The Hunza-Gilgit region, after the partition of India and Pakistan, was divided between the two countries. Pakistan administered the region as part of Gilgit-Baltistan, while India claimed the area as part of Jammu and Kashmir. In 1936, the Mir, who was the ruler of Hunza, was asked by the British to give away his rights in the Tagtumdas Pamir region and the Shaksgam Valley. However, the Shaksgam Valley and the Aghil range remained with him. After the accession of Jammu and Kashmir to India in October 1947, the Shaksgam Valley legally became part of India. India, however, did not exercise physical control over the valley due to the forcible occupation by Pakistan. In the 1950s, China started entering into territories in eastern Hunza. This led to a sharp deterioration in India-China ties, and Pakistan under then President Ayub Khan sensed an opportunity to appease China, In 1963, Pakistan then formally ceded the Yarkand River and Shaksgam Valley to China, ignoring India's concerns. This move came shortly after the 1962 India-China War, when Pakistan had sought to deepen its strategic and diplomatic ties with Beijing. Settling the border dispute with China was seen as a way to strengthen that partnership, which later enabled projects such as the Karakoram Highway and decades later the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Notably, even the 1963 agreement included a clause stating that the boundary settlement would be subject to renegotiation once the Kashmir dispute is finally resolved. Article 6 of the 1963 agreement stated that the two parties have agreed that after the settlement of the Kashmir dispute between Pakistan and India, the sovereign authority concerned will reopen negotiations with the government of the People's Republic of China on the boundary as described in Article 2 of the present agreement, so as to sign a formal boundary treaty to replace the present agreement. Despite this, China treats the Shaksgam Valley as part of its territory today and has defended its right to carry out infrastructure and development activities there. In fact, US President John F. Kennedy insisted on bringing India and Pakistan to the table for talks in this period. However, before they could happen, a China-Pakistan agreement was announced. Pakistan effectively gave away land that India had claimed. The Shaksgam matter also came up in the parliament. According to the Nehru archives, Prime Minister Nehru said on March 5, 1963, "We are naturally anxious to have a settlement with Pakistan," but added that he felt the announcement of the China-Pakistan agreement had been timed to prejudice the outcome of the joint talks on Kashmir and other related matters. PM Nehru added, and I quote, "However, as an earnest request of our desire for an honourable and equitable settlement with Pakistan, we propose to continue with the talks in Calcutta. I have also stated that a settlement does not mean that we accept whatever is proposed by Pakistan, right or wrong. We cannot abandon the principles we've always valued," quote unquote, is what he said. On China, Nehru said, "China, in spite of its professions that it has never involved itself in the dispute over Kashmir or its absurd claim that the boundary negotiations have promoted friendship between the Chinese and Pakistani people and are in the interests of Asia and world peace, is directly interfering in Indo-Pakistan relations." In 2022 as well, India reiterated its claim at the illegal occupation. Then Minister of State in the MEA, V. Muralidharan, stated that China continues to be an illegal occupation of approximately 38,000 square kilometers of Indian territory in the Union Territory of Ladakh for the last 6 decades. Further, under the so-called China-Pakistan Boundary Agreement signed in 1963, Pakistan illegally ceded 5,180 square kilometers of Indian territory in Shaksgam Valley from areas illegally occupied by Pakistan in the Union Territory of Ladakh to China. Now we unpack another contention point, that is CPEC. Recent satellite imagery and intelligence reports as of 2024-25 indicate that China had completed a massive all-weather road through the Aghil Pass, which is 4,805 meters, into the lower Shaksgam Valley. This road potentially connects the Karakoram Highway in the west to the G219 highway in Tibet to the east. The road is reported to be roughly 10 meters wide and spans over 75 kilometers within the valley, allowing for the rapid movement of heavy military and equipment. Of course, and traditionally India had faced Pakistan in the south and China in the north. This road creates a new axis of access that could sandwich Indian positions. The construction brings Chinese patrols and equipment within 50 kilometers of the Siachen Glacier near Indira Kol, the world's highest battlefield, where India maintains a significant presence. To reiterate, India maintains that China has an illegal occupation of approximately 38,000 square kilometers of its territory, predominantly in the high-altitude region of Aksai Chin. Located in the western sector of the Union Territory of Ladakh, this area was largely seized during the 1962 Sino-Indian War and remains under Chinese administrative control. Beyond this historical occupation, India also faces significant territorial claims in the eastern sector, where China asserts sovereignty over nearly 90,000 square kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh, frequently labeling it South Tibet. In recent years, the dispute has shifted towards incremental encroachments along the line of actual control, while major disengagements occur in 2024 and 2025 at friction points like Depsang and Demchok. India continues to protest China's construction of dual-use villages and military infrastructure within contested zones. New Delhi remains firm that these regions are an integral part of India and the restoration of the 2020 status quo is essential for normalized ties. In conclusion, the Shaksgam Valley remains a deeply contested region shaped by the unresolved Kashmir dispute and the 1963 China-Pak boundary agreement. While China asserts sovereignty and advances infrastructure projects under CPEC, India is continuing to reject the transfer as illegal and invalid. As a result, Shaksgam stands at the intersection of geopolitics, territorial claims, and regional power dynamics.
63 years of Chinese occupation. Illegally sold by Ayub Khan. This is why China loves Pakistan. New CPEC road draws India's concerns when Pakistan sold a part of Kashmir to appease China.